Okay. Let's stop it right here for a minute. First, I love that the movie says, inspired by true events. Even the lowlives at the American Family Association didn't have the nerve to claim it was an actual true story. What is the standard for being inspired by true events? Hell, is there a standard? I'm pretty sure the vague and opaque label of inspired by true events would allow Godzilla to claim it was also inspired by true events because there are people in the movie and Tokyo's a real city. Speaking of standards, the American Family Association is an organization dedicated to spreading anti-LGBTQ propaganda. This movie is a shining example of how they convince other bigots that they are in fact the victim. Accidental Activist is peak victimhood as Christians create a narrative in which they are the victims being attacked. But before I get too deep into the movie, let's look at what the AFA does. They create propaganda, including movies that target the LGBTQ community. They list companies that have inclusive policies so they can publicize them with their anti-LGBTQ circles and organize protests and boycotts against them. Spoilers. Ironically, the movie is one giant projection as they paint the LGBTQ community as publicizing the names of Christians that simply sign a petition, and then target them with boycotts. The fascist Christian nationalists don't stop their projections with boycotts. They even evoke the name of Hitler and the Nazis in smearing the LGBTQ community. Brian Fisher, AFA Director of Issue Analysis for Government and Public Policy, which means he's a lobbyist that pays Republican bigots to spread hatred, had this to say about the LGBTQ community. Homosexuality gave us Adolf Hitler, and homosexuals in the military gave us the brown shirts, the Nazi war machine, and 6 million dead Jews. It's apparent to anyone that wasn't homeschooled that this statement is patently false. The Nazis obviously targeted the LGBTQ community the same way that the AFA does. Of course, I don't think Brian believes this statement. It's just a projection that exhibits itself from a guilty conscience of someone that realizes they're a piece of shit. So now that you have an idea who the bigots behind this film are, let's immerse ourselves in the Christian persecution complex as they look to build a new generation of victims.
Oh, neat. Look at this place. This is cool.
Yeah?
One scoop each.
Ooh, yum. Ooh, what are you gonna get?
That's pretty
I
good.
want new shack.
What can I get you?
Okay, I want new shack.
Okay.
And it's the last one on this row.
All right, what do you want? Okay, you're right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right,
How
let's
you
do
know? All right, awesome. This is a fast eater.
All right, I've got to go take a listen and get a beanie soup.
Right.
You got kids?
Yes, I do. We're gonna go kill some time at the bookstore, right? Right, and then don't be too long because I gotta go to Dorothy's to do the mowing and the weeding.
Oh, I want to go to Miss Dorothy's. Me too. Can I go
Yes,
too?
you can. All right, but you have to work first, and then you can play with the Buster out back.
Yeah!
All right. All right, people. Mom's ready to go. Let's move like we have purpose. Ready?
Aye, Captain.
All right.
All right.
All right, come on, guys.
See ya.
Come on out. See ya. Have fun.
Bye, Mama. Where's Mommy going?
Hi, would you like to sign our petition?
Sure, what's it for?
Who says they would like to sign a petition before they know what it is for?
Basically, we just want to protect traditional marriage, you know? Keep it between one man and one woman.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
I'm sorry, is marriage between a man and a woman under threat somewhere? I've never seen a petition to restrict marriage to 2 gay men or 2 lesbian women.
What's a petition?
Well, it's a piece of paper that voters sign in order to get their voices heard.
Can I sign it? You can't even write yet. I can sign my name, Mama Tom.
Well, no, sweetie, you have to be 18 years old to sign this.
My dad's a whole lot older than that.
Well, I definitely am much older than that, and I blame you, and I blame you. Thank you.
Of
very
course.
much. Yeah, let's go. You ready?
Yahoo!
Yahoo!
Teach them young to discriminate against the LGBTQ community. Grooming hatred is a favorite pastime of evangelicals. Sadly, it has the added effect of damaging the innocent children and contributing to depression and suicide, as countless Christian children will be taught to hate themselves as they struggle with their identity. Their parents are inflicting psychological abuse on them that many will never recover from.
Hey, Ron, what's up?
Temperature, taxes, blood pressure, you name it.
So, business looks like it's booming.
Whoever figured out how to make coffee a warm weather drink is a genius. I'll retire early.
Yeah, thank you.
Coffee black, bagel plain.
There you go.
You are one boring straight man, Ted.
And why is that? Because I like my coffee black?
Look, the other night, your wife made a tremendous gourmet meal.
Yeah, she did, didn't she?
And for the evening's entertainment, you picked a John Wayne movie.
So?
A black and white John Wayne movie, Ted.
So what?
Boring.
All right, what are you, a communist or something? You don't like John Wayne?
They had to throw in some anti-communist slander in for good measure. You can tell the AFA is filled with lemmings raised on Red Scare propaganda. Anyone that doesn't like something they label as quintessential Americana is an anti-American traitor working for the commies. It's absolutely pathetic that they have to categorize everything in life as either for America or against it. Of course, they are also the arbiters of what is and is not American. How convenient, right? And since they brought it up, John Wayne isn't a very good actor.
Boring.
Okay, but my wife thinks I'm very exciting. She tells me this all the time.
She's lying to you, Ted.
Okay, give that back.
You mean this?
Yes.
This whole dollar tip? No way. I'm paying off my mortgage with this.
Yeah, with my boring tip money.
You're hopeless, you know that?
This is Ted's gay friend, because we need to establish that Ted is actually a great guy that gets along with everyone. He's definitely not a homophobe like the staff at AFA that spread made-up statistics saying 80% of homosexuals have an STD. No, Ted loves his gay friend, the same way that Tucker Carlson loves his black friend.
So, how are the kids enjoying summer vacation?
The real question is, how is Lynn, enjoying the summer vacation? She's the one with the kids and all.
Of course she is. We have to include a subtle hint as to how you should structure your family.
And the answer is?
It's not fit for public establishment.
Tell her I said, stay strong.
Okay, I will.
All right.
You too. Thanks.
See you, Ted.
Thanks, man. Talk to you later.
Murphy residence? Daddy, telephone.
Who is it, son?
Another man saying bad words.
All right, give me the phone. Hello? No, who is this? No, you listen to me. I don't know what you and your buddies think you're doing by calling my house at this hour. What kind of grown man uses that kind of language with a kid? Yeah, same to you.
Is that another obscene phone call?
Yeah.
That's 3 in the last 2 days.
More than that. I've gotten that many today alone.
I don't know what's going on here, but let's just disconnect this thing. We don't need a landline. We all have cell phones.
Okay, I'll call tomorrow.
If I ever catch these people...
Who do you think is doing this?
I don't know. Kids, you want to go watch some TV or something?
See what happens, Christians? Sign a petition, and you will have foul-mouthed gays calling you and harassing your family. Christians can't even say what their views are without being attacked. It's not like they're trying to push their views on others or restrict their rights or something.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Look, I don't really feel comfortable with you guys being here alone without me, okay? So if you guys could come up to the store, we could find something for them to do. Maybe they could just fold t-shirts or something.
I think Ted is just doing the Republican thing here and taking advantage of some free child labor. Republicans have been at war lately to protect the right of corporations to exploit children for free or reduced labor, often with very little oversight or safety regulations. 'Cause it'll stifle business, and you gotta grow the economy.
Tina and Ashley are still on vacation. I need help with those 2 big orders coming in, so maybe we could do that.
Are you that worried about these phone calls?
Yeah, I really am. I don't know what we're dealing with here, and I feel uncomfortable with you guys close by.
Okay. Great. The kids like it there anyway.
I know.
It's okay.
Yes, 'cause there was that time when the Rainbow Brigade burnt down all those churches. Wait, no, that didn't happen. Well, there was that time the gays called for the mass extinction of Christians. No, wait, that was the other way around. Well, fuck.
Hey, hon, I'm gonna run next door to get some coffee. You want one?
No, I'm good.
I want something. Can I get a smoothie? Yeah, me too.
No, we're gonna go get lunch soon. You'll spoil your appetites.
But we're thirsty.
Well, there's plenty of water in the refrigerator. 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 Refrigerator.
Hey, Ron. What's up?
Come over here.
Okay. What's up? What's going on?
What's up? You want to know what's up?
Yeah.
This is Equality Today, one of the city's gay newspapers.
Okay, so when is the newspaper gay? Is it having a crush on the Tribune, or?
Time to slide in a homophobic joke. Aren't these bigots just so witty and hilarious? By the way, if you had not already figured it out, Ron and Ted are both closeted gay men. They were probably sneaking off and making out in a back room before returning to set to berate and dehumanize themselves. It's really tragic, and as much as I want to hate them for spreading bigotry, I find myself pitying them for living such a miserable existence. Religious bigotry casts a wide net of hate that affects everyone. How many suicides and abusive relationships are a direct result of the trauma inflicted by religion? I'm reminded of a recent case in which an Alabama pastor, Bubba Copeland, committed suicide after being outed for his trans online persona. It is obvious that people like this are doing everything they can to suppress their true selves, but there is no amount of prayers and speaking in tongues
Oh, we love you, Jesus.
that can change who they are and what makes them happy. He was so afraid of the religion he was indoctrinated in that he practiced self-hate publicly while still unable to fully suppress who he was.
Look,
Okay, this is my name and my home and store address?
Bullshit. No gay magazine is publishing the names and addresses of people that sign a petition. Now, Pastor Copeland was outed by far-right media in the manner in which the film portrays, and this is a common tactic by religious bigots, and yet another projection by the homophobic AFA.
that's right, genius.
Okay, what is this?
Did you sign the anti-gay marriage petition?
No, I've never signed anything anti-gay.
What does it mean when you want to define marriage as a union between one man and one woman? Let me think. So we only want marriages between one man and one woman recognized by the law. So that would mean that we want the government to outlaw marriages between two men or two women. So that must mean that protecting traditional marriage is just a euphemism for outlawing gay marriage.
Well, you must have signed something. I mean, they just didn't pull your name out of thin air.
Well, I signed something last month, but it was a petition for traditional marriage.
The anti-gay marriage petition.
Ron, come on. You know that I'm not anti-gay.
No, not at all. I just don't think you deserve the same rights as me. This is the same shit that white supremacists say in the public. I'm not against the black community or any other race. I'm just for the white race. They are attempting to serve the public a politically correct version of hatred, a bigotry light, if you will.
Look, I know what you believe. I mean, we've been down that road and we've had those arguments. But it's one thing to argue over theoretical stuff, and another to do this to me.
Do what to you? I signed a stupid petition. It doesn't mean a thing.
It means something to me, Ted.
If it didn't mean anything, then why did you sign it? What is the point of a petition? Did the lady not say that the petition was directed to the government? Isn't that nearly always the intended audience? What purpose would one have for sending a petition to the government? The mental gymnastics are amazing. We all know what the purpose of the petition is, and to pretend like it is not intended to enact government action is peak dishonesty. But dishonesty comes easy when you are a Christian.
Come to my house. I've been over to your home, countless times? Yeah. And for you to stab me in the heart like this.
Stab you in the heart? Ron, I don't even know why are you so upset about this?
By signing this petition, you're saying that I'm not allowed to get married. Isn't that right?
No, it's not right. You know I believe that
Look,
marriage
Ted,
that way.
you come in here day after day, and you act like you think I'm a human being. But when it comes right
No,
down...
that is not fair.
When it comes right down to it, you don't think I'm human being enough to be married, am I?
That's exactly it. Christians have been dehumanizing others from the beginning. It started with painting Jews as evil, spreading rumors of human sacrifice and blood libel throughout the Middle Ages, leading to waves of anti-Semitism in Europe. They soon set their sights on the pagans that they labeled as barbarians, as the Christians invaded their lands to murder and enslave anyone unwilling to join their blood-worshipping death cult. When the Christians ran out of other religions to extinguish, they turned on each other and killed millions for heresy in vain attempts to define what a true Christian is. The LGBTQ community has been attacked and murdered by this terroristic death cult for generations, and they will never stop. Denying equal rights is dehumanizing people. It is saying that you aren't as good as me and don't deserve the same rights that I have.
Think about that the next time you want a plain bagel. Keep the paper.
Where are you going? Come on, man. Come back and let's just talk
Fuck you, Ted. Take your damn bagel and get the fuck out. Perhaps you should read the gay paper, then sit down, think long and hard about the legacy you are leaving behind. The only thing that matters is what we do. There isn't any magic sky fairy judging us for what we believe. If there was a God, he would judge us for our actions, not our faith and belief, and Christians would be failing the test. How can anyone really think an all-powerful, super-intelligent God, capable of speaking the world into existence, is condemning people for being gay, and anyone that treats them equally will be condemned as well? You are either a stupid motherfucker or a bigoted asshole. Those are the only two options.
Well, that explains the calls.
What calls?
The obscene calls.
What is this?
Obviously, it's a gay paper. I mean, these people are against this petition for traditional marriage. You know, we talked about it in church.
Notice the tape at the top of the paper. These low budget, low effort, low life Christian bigots took a local newspaper and taped a header on it with the words "Equality Today" and tried to pass it off as their fictional gay newspaper. This is a newspaper from Winter Garden, Florida, a town known for Christian bigots that promote anti-LGBTQ views. The city council ignores diversity ordinances, and local establishments offer 49-cent beers during Pride Month to mock the 49 victims of the Pulse nightclub shooting. These people are complete fucking trash.
And the gay organizations in here, they got the names and addresses of everybody that signed it. I mean, it's in the paper, and it's probably online by now.
Why wouldn't they be against the attempts of religious bigots to discriminate? Seems like an easy issue to get behind to me.
So what does that have to do with us?
Lynn, I signed this.
You did what? When?
A month ago. You remember when you took Alyssa to get the bathing suit? I signed it on the way to the bookstore with the other kids.
And they put your name in the paper just for doing that?
Yes, the paper's encouraging these gay activists to boycott business owners who signed it.
There have been numerous petitions to define marriage as one man and one woman. They have been on change.org and many other platforms. No Christian is being doxxed or harassed because they signed a bigoted petition. We know this and they know this. They openly preach this bullshit to anyone that will listen. They know they are not being attacked and they are simply projecting to feed their persecution narrative. As I pointed out at the beginning of the video, this is one of the main tactics of the AFA to force conformity in society. They actively look for businesses that support the LGBTQ community and post hateful misinformation while encouraging people to boycott them. This film is permeated with projection.
How did you even find this?
Ron, he showed it to me.
Come on, Ted, tell the truth. Ron showed you more than a gay newspaper that you secretly subscribe to.
I mean, he's ticked off. Really?
You?
Yes, for signing it. I mean, he chewed me out at the coffee shop in front of everyone, the customers, the employees.
Did you explain to him it wasn't personal?
Yes, I did, and he's taking it personal, real personal.
It's not personal that I want to make it illegal for you to get married. Don't take it so hard, Ron. Well, on second thought, it's probably best taken hard. Can you imagine if atheists wanted to restrict weddings and marriage licenses to ceremonies held by the Justice of the Peace? Say Christians could still hold a ceremony in a church, but it wouldn't be legally recognized, and only after a secular marriage was conducted by the government would your marriage be official. Imagine how they would react. They would lose their fucking minds. These Christians would still be able to marry and hold all of their ceremonies as they always have, but pastors would no longer be able to solemnize the marriage. That part would be reserved for secular officials of the government. Christians would cry and protest, telling the world how they're persecuted and discriminated against, yet they maintain that denying a gay couple a secular wedding is not discriminatory. These folks are truly awful, despicable humans.
Poor Ron.
Poor Ron? Look, Lynn, my name is in this paper.
It's gonna be okay. What can the activists do?
I don't know. They can call, they can complain. I don't know what they do.
Dad, how many gay customers do you think we have?
One. I know of one.
Why should we be surprised that our good Christian only knows one gay person?
Okay, go talk to Ron when he cools off.
Oh, no, forget it. I didn't do anything wrong here, okay? He got up in my case, so he needs to come here and make it right.
In the twisted Christian world, the person confronting the bigot is the one that has done something hateful.
We've been friends with him for years. Go get a cup of coffee. Go talk to him.
Oh, so his employees can spit in my coffee, Lynn? No, just count me out.
With all the projections in this movie, I would venture that it is safe to assume that there is a coffee shop in Winter Garden, Florida that spits in the drinks of anyone openly gay.
Ted, that's stubborn pride.
I guess it is.
I'm gonna go check on the kids.
This was symbolic if you didn't catch it. Gay rights and any voice that speaks on their behalf is not worth hearing and should be thrown in the trash.
Daddy, 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 Daddy.
What?
Look.
More victimhood projections to harden the resolve of Christian bigots. Anti-LGBTQ bigots are vandalizing businesses and churches all across the country. There are so many stories that I could do a mini-series of videos dedicated to this act of terrorism alone. I can't express this enough, but I have to say it again. These bigots are disgusting people and should be publicly shamed for their hatred, not celebrated. Our nation is far past due in writing legislation that holds people accountable for hate speech.
What does that mean? What they wrote? What's a bigot?
It means when one person is mean to somebody because of who they are. A bigot hates a particular group of people.
Why did they call Daddy a bigot?
We believe that marriage should be between one man and one woman. Dad signed a petition saying that, and someone found out, and he did not like it.
And because of that, they wrote on our window?
Looks that way.
Again, what does your petition look to accomplish? Does it not aim to restrict marriage to one man and one woman? So, are you not trying to take away other people's rights? Is that not the definition of bigotry? Seems pretty accurate.
Hey,
Lynn, what's going on? Who did this?
we don't know. Dad is so upset.
Are you and the kids okay?
Yeah, we're okay.
Yeah.
Hey, you know he didn't mean to hurt your feelings by signing that petition, right?
Hurt your feelings? It's a bit more than that, sweetie. The petition is trying to take away his rights.
I mean, he told me about your argument. I told him just to go talk to you, but he's proud. You guys need to straighten this out, okay? Hey, I gotta go.
Suck it up, Buttercup. You need to find a way to look past our bigotry and accept that we don't think you deserve the same rights as us. Nothing personal, Ron.
What is it?
Well, vandalism at the store made the newspaper website. A little photo here and a short story.
What does it say?
Well, it just says what happened. I mean, they quote me as saying that the vandalism is probably from the marriage petition, and then they're quoting some guy named Vicente Ramos from the Claremont Pride, some gay lesbian activist group, and he's saying the Claremont Pride abhors criminal behavior, but bigotry shouldn't be tolerated.
What does that mean?
That he doesn't condone people spray painting your store, but your bigotry is inexcusable? The asshole that vandalized your store is a shithead, but not as big a shithead as you are.
I guess he's saying what the vandal did was wrong, but I'm also wrong for signing the petition.
Well, no, yeah, I get that signing the marriage petition is bigotry, but...
Well, don't you understand?
Seriously, if you understand that your actions are bigoted, then what the fuck could you be confused about?
What does he mean that signing the petition should never be tolerated? I mean, is that a threat?
Oh, your persecution complex is kicking into high gear, and you want to pretend the LGBTQ community is violently attacking Christians? I should have known. Guess you are just trying to cover for all the violence done in the name of Christ.
This is illegal, right? I mean, this isn't a public right-of-way. They're hindering our business.
I mean, ordinarily you'd be right, but I just talked to this cop, and he spoke with the owner of the property, and he okayed the protest.
You don't need authorization from a property's owner to protest outside. You might be restricted to the sidewalk, but they can't make you leave. How ironic that an organization built on protesting would act like protesting was illegal without permission. Do you think the AFA gets permission to protest LGBTQ businesses?
What?
That was Tina. Her and her sister told their parents about the protest today, and they don't want them coming back to the store. They said they're sorry that they can't give their 2 weeks, but their parents are afraid for their safety.
Yeah, well, I can't say I blame him.
Yeah, that crowd looked really scary. I would be much more afraid of them than I would be people carrying signs that say fags burn in hell.
Mr. Murphy, do you regret signing that petition? I mean, clearly you can see what hurt it's caused the gay and lesbian community in Claremont.
Look, I didn't mean to hurt anybody, okay? I just signed a petition to express my beliefs about traditional marriage.
But denying gays and lesbians the right to marry, well, that's not
Okay,
sitting
no,
too well
I
with
said
these
more than
protesters
that.
from Claremont Pride.
See, Christians, the media won't let you tell your side of the story. They need to air an hour-long segment so you can show them why the Bible should be used to make laws that restrict everyone's rights. Then everyone will understand that it's not Christians being bigots. It's just speaking up for the invisible and undetectable God that can't speak for himself. Never mind that others may not believe in your sky fairy. He believes in you. So America's laws should follow Christian religious beliefs. These people are arrogant narcissists that lack any empathy and understanding of the world.
How am I hurting Mr. Murphy and his family? My girlfriend and I have been together for 10 years. We're hardworking people. We pay our taxes. We're not hurting anyone else.
You are not, but Mr. Murphy doesn't think you should get married because your marriage goes against his beliefs.
How could people be so cruel to deny us the right to marry?
It's almost like deep down they know they are bigoted assholes, but they just don't care. Marriage equality is really not a complicated or confusing issue. You believe in marriage between one man and one woman, then that is the kind of marriage you should have. Someone else in a gay marriage has no effect on you or your marriage. Get the fuck over yourselves, Christians. You don't rule the world.
Can you believe this?
I'm here with Vincente Ramos, director of Claremont Pride. Now, Vincente, tell me, what are your reasons for this protest today?
The kind of hatred and bigotry demonstrated by the
Hatred and bigotry?
in Claremont.
Gee, how else do you describe denying a group of people equal rights based on their identity?
And they have children in there. What is this teaching them?
Now, how long are you planning on holding this protest?
Every day during business hours until Ted Murphy publicly apologizes to the gay and lesbian community. Then
That's not gonna happen.
Of course it's not. Christians are emboldened in their position because they believe they have a magic sky daddy that made all these rules handed down by Bronze Age goat herders. What kind of dumbass God would visit humans after they have barely invented an alphabet and 90% of the population can't read, let alone write? So he can hand them a set of laws to pass down to all future generations. How incredibly fucking stupid must a person be to think this sounds like the actions of a God?
You said that was our side of the story?
I spoke with this woman for 20 minutes. I gave her all my reasons for why I believe marriage is between a man and a woman.
Yeah, well, apparently she wasn't interested.
No, apparently.
See, Teddy told her all about the Bible and how it says one man and one woman, except it doesn't. He had to leave out the parts about sex slaves, polygamy, incest, and of course they had to leave out the story of a 3-year-old Rebecca being given to Isaac to marry. So if you just ignore the child marriage, incest, rape, slavery, and polygamy, you are mostly left with a traditional marriage between one man and one woman. The key is to be selective with the verses that you quote.
Did you see what they said about us in the paper?
Yes, Ted, I did.
We're the symbol of bigotry in the community. Did you know that? And we should be shunned because we need to see the light, or shunned until we actually go out of business. I mean, they're saying here that we're pariahs, and this one says that we're no better than a fungus.
I don't know about the fungus part, but a society that values equality should shun you for discriminating against others. If there were a group of people looking to eliminate Christians, you would want the community to stand up to the hatred and support your right to exist. Sadly, you don't think other people deserve the same treatment.
Step right up and see the family of bigots because they believe that marriage is between a man and a woman.
They keep hammering this euphemism to avoid the fact that they are wanting to keep other people from getting married. No one is stopping them from having a traditional marriage, as they call it. The issue has always been about Christians trying to decide what other people should do based on their Christian ideas. That's not the way this country was founded, and it's not the way most nations operate. You know what countries use a religious text to control society? Places like Saudi Arabia and Afghanistan. There is no difference between evangelicals and Muslim extremists.
So did you get the t-shirts folded?
Mm-mm.
Are you close?
It doesn't matter. Mr. Livingston just called me on my cell phone. They're canceling their orders.
Actually, they should cancel their orders. But this isn't happening, or Christians wouldn't be continuing to use their religion as a sword and a shield. Of course, the school would face lawsuits for following the Constitution, as the Christians have a network of shady organizations known as Christian conservative legal organizations that file frivolous suits to pepper the judicial system.
Mr. Livingston said he got a couple calls from school board members. He said that they saw the coverage on the local news, read the stuff in the newspapers. He said He's sorry, but the pressure is building.
The pressure. He doesn't even know what pressure is, this guy. I mean, we haven't even walked in traffic since the tolerance people, they're no longer tolerant of us anymore.
Oh, yes, because being intolerant of intolerance makes you the intolerant one and cancels our original intolerance. See how that works? So Christians must be allowed to be intolerant of others because standing up to them would be intolerant. The victimhood is strong with Christians. If you followed out their logic, you would just let any group discriminate for any reason. Imagine again that Christianity was under threat in America and there was a group that wanted to keep Christians from owning property. By the logic of this movie, we would not stand up to this group. Instead, we should be tolerant of their intolerance and let it play out, I guess. Whatever happens, happens. To interfere would be intolerant. By this same logic, no one should have stood up against slavery or fought for civil rights based on sex or race. We were all just being really intolerant of the KKK and the anti-suffrage misogynists. The Christian mind is truly warped.
I mean, we lost the Park and Rec accounts and 3 businesses that have been buying t-shirts from us for years. 2 family reunions, and we lost a church, Lynn. A church.
Well, it was an Episcopal church.
Yeah, but still.
If you don't understand that jab, they don't think the Episcopal Church is legitimate because they openly accept the LGBTQ community. Think about it in medieval terms. If the Episcopal Church were around roughly 800 years ago, they would be the Cathars, and they would have a crusade waged against them to kill them for heresy. Isn't Christianity great?
Well, on the other hand, we picked up the conservative Anglican church down the street, and they have a conference in September. They thought we could use the business.
If we're in business until September.
The Anglicans are hereby bestowed the honor of fellow bigots in arms. May the hatred fill your hearts. May your swords be coated in the blood of infidels, and may your ignorance guide you.
Come on and back.
Why?
Just come on.
Why?
The kids have something for you.
Oh, okay, and stay here and let the store stay open for the barbarians to loot?
Right, because the people protesting for civil rights are the ones causing violence. Why is it that Christians don't know anything about their history? Well, I guess I kind of answered that. If they knew much about their history, they wouldn't be Christians.
What? Surprise! That is great! That is, thank you so much.
Bethany wanted to say the world's greatest bigot.
All right, Stephanie. There's hope for at least one of these kids after all.
Since when do you come in the side door?
Well, since you started having a mob at the front door.
Yeah. Boy.
Yeah. 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 Did you make this t-shirt for yourself?
No, my kids made it for me.
Is that right?
That's right.
Sure they did.
Passive-aggressive asshole tone from Ted is obnoxious. I'm not sure if this was planned or just part of his personality. Either way, it gives an air of arrogance and self-righteousness, as if Ted shouldn't even face any criticism for his views. Christians think because they have a Bible that they are beyond reproach and not accountable for the things they say and do. They use their religion as a shield.
How you guys been hanging in?
Lousy. What else can I say? I mean, I just found out I lost a couple big contracts.
Ted, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, well, thanks. I mean, it wasn't like we were doing great before this all happened anyway, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for the coffee.
Yeah.
Aw, we should all throw a pity party for poor little Teddy. Can you believe that people would not want to do business with a bigoted asshole?
Well, don't get me wrong. I still hate you for what you did. But we've been friends for a long time. And with the protests and all, I just started getting worried about Lynn and the kids, and you.
Oh, well, thanks, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry I hurt you over this, too.
Well, there's no easy way out of this conflict for either one of us, is there?
I guess not.
There is an easy way out. Stop being a bigot. Quit using your religion to discriminate. Live and let live. No one is forcing Ted to take away people's rights. Ted is doing that on his own.
Did you get back to Pastor?
Yep. I called him back, and he said everybody's concerned, and they're praying for us, and praying for us, and praying for us, and blah, blah.
Ted, that's awful.
Lynn, that's how I feel right now. I'm being pounded into the being pounded into the concrete, Lynn. And I want to know, where is God? Where is he?
Is Teddy losing his faith?
Do we have some kind of secret sin in our lives here?
Dad, don't be like that.
How should I be, Lynn? I didn't ask for any of this. Okay, I don't want to be a culture warrior. I'm not a hero. I just signed a stupid petition. A fluke, a whim.
But you believed in that petition. That marriage is between one man and one woman.
Yeah, but I didn't want to go to war over it. I just want my family.
The irony. You didn't want a war, and you just want your family, but also wanted the right to decide that other people can't have a family because it doesn't look like yours. You poor thing, Ted. You are practically a martyr.
I want to build my business, and I want to mind my own.
If you wanted to mind your own business, you wouldn't try to force your religious beliefs on others. Just a heads up in case you find yourself in a situation like this again.
Sometimes life crashes into our own little world,
Okay, so
Ted.
I'll just tell that to Mr. Goodwin when he comes to collect 3 months' rent.
Have you talked to him?
Yes, a few minutes ago on the phone. He's coming by the store after we close.
What are you gonna tell him?
Oh, I'm gonna tell him that the church is praying for us and everything's gonna be okay.
Don't worry, Teddy. The church will probably raise money through their network of bigots to fund your little culture war that you didn't want to start.
We look at her, pretending to be some objective reporter chasing after a story.
What are you gonna do? I mean, you told her your views last week and she didn't care.
Well, it isn't right and it's not fair.
What's that old expression? The power of the press belongs to those who have one.
Well, yeah, I still have a right to complain, don't I? And that's what I'm gonna do.
There are literally hundreds of Christian advocacy groups and countless media outlets. The top 20 advocacy groups, according to Ministry Watch, have a combined annual revenue of $674 million. There are over 200 Christian film production companies, according to the most complete list I could find. Mind you, it did not have several companies that I found on other lists, so the true number is much greater than 200.
Mr. Murphy! Over here, Mr. Murphy!
Well, hello, Mr. Murphy. How are you today?
Well, I'm actually a little frustrated. Okay, my wife and I, we watched this news feature on the protests last week, and you didn't include any of the reasons I gave for traditional marriage, and I think what you aired was not fair.
Okay, I see. And what didn't you think was fair about it?
Well, I spent 20 minutes or more with you in the store, and you didn't include anything that I said about traditional marriage.
But I told you about the Bible and how it's not really that I hate gay people or want to take away their rights. It's actually God that hates gay people and thinks that they don't deserve the same rights. Why didn't you tell everyone that? Surely they would understand that I'm right and I'm not a bigot if you told them I was just speaking for God.
Okay.
Okay, wait. But that's not what the story was about, Ted.
What do you mean?
Well, the story wasn't about why you oppose gay marriage, but about the fact that you do. I mean, you're the one that signed the petition, and it upset the gay community here in Claremont. That was the story.
Okay, let me get this straight. All that matters is that the homosexual community got its feelings hurt, and I'm automatically the bad guy?
Whoa. I didn't say you were the bad guy.
Well,
back to gaslighting. Let's pretend like all that happened was that the LGBTQ community got its feelings hurt, ignoring that you are seeking legislation to take away their rights. With that out of the way, Ted can play the victim and pretend like he was the one hurt from this whole situation.
You had the head of Claremont Pride come out here and say that I'm demonstrating hatred and bigotry because I support traditional marriage? And then you say that you have two lesbians say that I was cruel to them? Do you honestly think that this kind of reporting is not going to make me out to be a bad guy for your viewers?
Because you are the bad guy and she told the truth.
Last time I checked, it's still America here, and I can believe what I want.
No one ever said you couldn't. You just don't get to decide for others. Not sure why this is confusing to Christians. Maybe it's not, and they really just want to use their religion to spread hatred.
Your hatred and intolerance is not American, and we do not welcome it in our community.
Okay, wait. Why does it automatically have to be hatred and intolerance, Vince? Is that because you disagree with me?
No, it's because you are discriminating. Are you fucking slow, Ted?
It's hatred and intolerance because we say so.
Okay, who's we?
Society. Well, at least the loving and tolerant.
Oh, the loving and tolerant that agree with you, right?
We're not here to debate this, Ted. We determine what is acceptable in our community, not a bigot like you.
Notice how the protesters are incapable of forming a coherent argument. How many times have we explained why their position is intolerant and bigoted, only to have them straw man us as idiots incapable of expounding on what is wrong with the Christian position? Christians have to straw man every position they don't agree with because ultimately everything they believe is based on an ancient book of superstitions. They can't support their position with evidence or a rational argument.
Okay. What you need to do is publicly apologize for your outdated views and embrace the change, or lose your business. Those are your options.
Okay, so are you telling me that what I did was wrong? Signing a petition about my beliefs about traditional marriage, but it's okay for you to punish me for doing so?
Don't forget, Christians, people standing up to your bigotry is actually intolerance. Remember, the whole world is against you and hates you because you are Christian, just like the Bible says. Your petition isn't simply stating your views on marriage. Your marriage tells us what kind of marriage you believe in. And guess what? You are free to have a heterosexual marriage, and no one gives a fuck. The Christians want to be the victim so badly.
Yeah, exactly. You can't have hate in your business, too.
Hey, that is my business. And you don't go after some guy and his family. You don't go after them to hurt them, Vince.
You mean the way you are going after gay families to hurt them? Is there any self-awareness among Christians?
So what can I do for you?
Well, I know who you are and what you're going through. The protest down at the store.
Oh, yeah, those.
Yeah, no. Seen you on TV. Came down to observe one day. But I want you to know, Ted, you're not in this fight alone.
Well, I feel like I'm alone.
Yeah, well, you're not. You have my support. That is my church. And we're behind you.
Well, actually, it's going to be over pretty soon anyway.
Oh, really? You're going to call the protests off?
No, it's just the opposite, really. The protesters are going to accomplish their goal, and I don't think our business is going to survive.
Oh. No, I see.
Consequences are a bitch, Ted. Imagine the public opposing bigotry with the favorite method of conservatives, with their wallets. Pretty sure old PragerU has a video or two about people voicing their opinions through their purchases.
I'm sorry, Ted. This has got to be heartbreaking for you.
Yeah, it does. You know, my wife and I have been building this business now for the last several years from scratch, and it just really, it's hard to see it go away, to lose it to something like this.
Something like what?
Well, the petition. I signed a petition for traditional marriage. I mean, it was just an impulse on a sunny day, and I don't really see what good my little signature is going to do.
Ted, because of the protest, everybody's talking about this issue now, and that's a good thing because it gives us the opportunity to tell the truth about marriage, and people will listen at a time like this.
You are a martyr, Ted, don't you see? If we say hateful things and discriminate against others, we can use the public backlash as a platform for victimhood. It's the perfect way to gaslight our position and pretend like the people fighting for equality are intolerant instead of us. It's brilliant, Ted. Besides, it's a Christian tradition to gaslight and play the victim.
Look, Ted, black folks in this country, we know about bigotry. And we're tired of Christians being called bigots because they believe in the Bible.
What about the people that don't believe in the Bible? It doesn't sound like you want to protect the rights of racists to use the government to discriminate. It blows my mind that homophobia is so prevalent in the black community. If anyone knows firsthand what bigotry can do when it infiltrates the government, it's black folks in America. How could you be so blind that you would turn around and spread hatred and discriminate against anyone else after experiencing this being done to you for generations?
It's time we took a firm stand and told the world we won't be moved. Now, I recommend going on the offensive, speaking out.
Oh, how? I mean, what do you mean?
We've scheduled a rally. Our church will be there, many supporters.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess that's a great idea.
You like that?
How do I fit into this?
Good. We want you to be the keynote speaker, Ted. Now, can you be bold enough to do that, Ted?
No. No, look, I don't public speak.
We'll be with you, standing right there.
Come on, Teddy. Homophobic community is counting on you. Just think of all the bigots you'll be inspiring.
Look, Reverend, with all due respect, I'm losing my business on this issue, and I don't have it in my mind to ever speak about it again, let alone speak at a rally.
I think that'd be a mistake, because this is more than just about you. It's more than about defining marriage. It's about our religious freedom, Ted. That's what's on stake here.
By religious freedom, he means the right to weaponize his religion and use it to dehumanize others while forcing them to follow his ancient superstitions. This is just pure gaslighting. No one is infringing on their freedom to practice their religion as they believe. We are talking about Christians wanting to legislate their religious views and force everyone to practice their religion whether they want to or not.
They have the freedom to speak the truth without threats or harassment.
It is Christians that are threatening and harassing those that don't share their views. It is Christians that are trying to force their religion on everyone else. It is Christians that are trying to take away other people's rights.
Yeah. I don't know.
Now, for some reason, this trial has found its way to you. And I believe it's a reason for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't see it that way. I see a wrong guy in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's how I look at it.
Ted, if you believe that God oversees our lives, you can't look at this like a fluke. Like the wind blew you to the left when it should have blown to the right.
Nothing emboldens someone in a terrible position like believing that God is behind you. How many people have committed atrocities because they thought God was on their side? How many people have gotten themselves or those around them killed because they thought God was on their side?
Where are Lynn and the kids?
Out for pizza. Yeah. Ron, we're behind, and he wants to talk about it.
You think he'll cut you some slack?
No. We're a hemorrhaging business. He wants his money, and I don't have it.
So what are you gonna do?
I don't know. What can I do? I just know that these protesters, they're not gonna change my mind by destroying my business.
So you're not even willing to rethink your position on same-sex marriage? I mean, maybe it's time to reconsider.
Do you really think it's about gay marriage?
Well, yes. I mean, you did sign a petition that seeks to define marriage as a union between one man and one woman, with the express purpose of having this view adopted by the government, which would disqualify the LGBTQ community from getting married. That is the whole purpose there, Ted.
You think this is about something else?
Yes, I do. This whole debate's not just about personal preference. I don't oppose homosexual marriage because I'm cranky.
I know, you're a Bible thumper, Ted.
I am not a Bible thumper. Do I believe that the Bible is true? Yes. Do I believe that mankind is male and female, sexually compatible genders? Yes, that's what I believe. And I also believe that marriage flows from that sexual reality. Those are my beliefs, Ron.
Fuck me. Let's beat this dead horse a few more times. No one is stopping you from living according to your beliefs. You are trying to force everyone else to live according to your beliefs. Christians know this, but they don't care. I honestly believe there are very few good Christians in the world.
This isn't just about what you believe, Ted. It's about what you did.
Signing a lousy petition?
Yeah. By signing that petition, you're pushing your views on the gay community.
No, you got that all wrong. We're not pushing anything on anybody. We didn't start this fight. The Christian view was here first, if you remember that, and the nation was built upon it.
Christians didn't invent marriage, and America wasn't built upon Christianity either. The First Amendment was written by James Madison, and he was a staunch believer in the separation of church and state. I made a video detailing his views on what the Establishment Clause means. The founders were in agreement with Madison as they understood how religion corrupted government. This bullshit statement deserves far better debunking than I can include in this movie review. Please check out my video on the First Amendment. I will probably make a video directly refuting the Christian founding lie in the future.
And they're trying to redefine marriage, Ron, and they're asking us to shut up about it.
Enough already!
Yeah, seriously, enough with your bullshit already. All you can do is gaslight and regurgitate lies from Christian nationalists. I swear all of you dumbasses were homeschooled.
This endless debate isn't solving anything.
No, it's not.
No shit, because the Christian is openly lying about their position and giving us a third grade equivalent gaslighting. Have some fucking integrity already. If you are Christian and you think marriage should only be legally recognized between one man and one woman, have the integrity and courage to admit that this obviously means that you don't think gay people should have the right to marry. None of us are fucking stupid enough to believe this dumbass gaslighting. You are only compounding your problems by making yourself look functionally retarded with your denials. Your bigotry isn't in question. You have made this much clear. But the least you could do is have a little bit of integrity and stand behind your position. Don't be a coward and a dumbass to boot.
The Murphys, they're good people, Paul. Can you work with them, try to keep them open?
I appreciate your concern for him.
Come on in, Paul.
The message here that has been subtly, or not so subtly, slipped in a couple times, is that Ted is such a good person that even his gay friend that he is openly discriminating against can't help but defend him and tell the world what a great guy old Ted is.
Thanks for coming in, Paul. You want to go sit in the back and talk?
No, I don't think this is going to take very long. I just came by for the rent, as per your contract. You know, you're 3 months past due, and usually I let it slide until the school contracts come in.
Yeah, well, we lost those, Paul.
So you don't have the money?
This protest is killing our business.
I don't see how that's my problem.
If you would have allowed the police to come and remove these people from the front, the protest wouldn't have been on the local news. I would still have those contracts.
Yes, but if you hadn't stuck your nose where it didn't belong, there never, ever would have been any protests, Ted. See?
Always the victim. These Christians invent a situation that isn't happening so they can pretend like all of society is against them. They lay this shit on thick.
Now, we can go back and forth on this, trying to assign blame, but in the end, what's the point? There's only one matter that concerns me. And I think you've answered that question. Have a nice evening.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny how conservatives love capitalism till they don't. Democracy by the dollar, they say. Vote with your wallet, they say. Make as much money as you can. Then when they find themselves on the losing end, they don't like the system anymore.
So what did Mr. Goodman say?
He wants his money.
No extensions or anything?
The money's due and he wants it, and he wants it now.
That doesn't seem fair.
No, I know. Tell me about it.
We should have gotten special treatment because we're a good Christian family, and you have to put a halt on laissez-faire capitalism. It's just not fair that we're subjected to the rules we advocate for. Look, the landlords are out of control in this country, but evangelicals are the ones putting the people in office that think America should be a feudal state. So it's kind of hard to feel sorry for the people selling us out to the wealthy elite.
He could have helped us. He allowed them to snuff out our business, and then he holds us accountable for not having any business left.
Yeah, he says it's my fault for getting involved in the first place.
We have arrived at the pity party. This is what Christians do, and they are held to the same standard as everyone else. They have been elevated in society for so long that equality feels like oppression.
I don't know, baby. Maybe he just doesn't want to get involved himself in that kind of stuff. I can't say that I blame him.
What are we gonna do, Ted?
I don't know what to do.
Get a different job. Your t-shirts were ugly as fuck anyway. You two look like the least creative people on the planet. Look at your company design. You are a fucking t-shirt company, and your own t-shirt looks like a 4-year-old designed it on Canva.
I made a mistake signing that petition. It's gonna cost us everything. Just one signature. I'm sorry.
See, Christians, you're just one signature away from being canceled out of America and thrown to the wolves on the streets. It could happen to any of you at any moment. There's a war on Christianity, and it's not even safe to be a Christian anymore.
Well then, Ted. Well then, Ted. Well then, Ted. Tell me what's on your mind.
Well, to tell you, Dorothy, it's that photo of your dad and that story you told me. I just can't get it out of my head.
I don't understand.
I really want to know how black people endured slavery. Jim Crow laws, peonage. You know, there's just so many people that maintain their faith in God. How do you do that, you know? Because I tell you, Dorothy, I'm not doing well right now, and I'm not really sure what to do.
This is one weird-ass scene.
Well, not all of us have done well, Ted. Some of us grew bitter over the years. And I've had hard times, too. Do you think I've never struggled with bitterness against white folk? I never grew up with my dad. He never held me, brushed away my tears, or encouraged me to succeed in life. I know about Jim Crow law. I remember that I could not go and sit in a restaurant, that I could not go to a movie theater and see a movie and sit by a white person.
Yes, ma'am.
And many times I can remember when I was called, you know what I was called.
Yeah, yes, ma'am, I sure do.
And I'm sure gay people have suffered too. I don't deny that. Hatred and bigotry is a terrible, 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 terrible thing. But I get tired of hearing about how gay is the new black. Now, as a black Christian, I'm also being called a bigot because of what I believe about marriage. I'm the bad guy. And after all these years, we still got to fight for our religious liberty.
What do you mean?
You're the one being driven out of business, Ted, being told to get out, that you are not wanted, simply for being a faithful Christian.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, me either. Maybe because this is just gaslighting to cover for bigotry. Christians always have to frame their opposition to gay marriage as support for biblical marriage. They conveniently ignore the fact that what they are in fact doing is trying to give the concept of marriage a religious definition and allow religion to deny this right to people that don't share their views. That's an open violation of the First Amendment rights of every non-Christian. This isn't debatable. The founders knew this. When Patrick Henry tried to establish state-sponsored Christianity, James Madison rebutted with his memorial and remonstrance, and it was easily defeated. There were numerous attempts to establish Christianity in early America, with nearly everyone soundly defeated.
What are you going to do about it? Just a minute. I want to give you something. I want you to keep this for a while.
Okay, I don't understand.
Some people don't ever get a chance to fight back, and I want you to remember that.
Thank you. I will.
Now get out there and be a martyr for bigotry. The homophobes are counting on you, Ted.
Thank you. You know, our nation was born in fiery trial, and our founding fathers, they pledged their lives and their fortunes and their sacred honor to establish this country, as it states in the Declaration of Independence. So I signed a petition for traditional marriage. That act was an expression of my First Amendment rights under the Constitution of this country.
And it was an act of the protesters' First Amendment right to boycott your business and picket. I guess you only care about rights when it is you.
And what I want to know is, when did it become reprehensible in this country, in America, to stand up for what you believe in? The people screaming the loudest and demanding tolerance are the least likely to extend it to somebody else.
It's not fair that people are intolerant of intolerance. The bad guy isn't the Christian that started by being intolerant of the LGBTQ community. No, the bad guy is the one that stands up to the bigot being intolerant. This is the dumbest gaslighting and attempt to play the victim. It's absolutely disgusting that Christians would stoop so low. They start off with bigotry and hatred before adding on liar, hypocrite, and crybaby in an attempt to cover their bigotry. Every one of these Christians that think they should be able to bully the government into violating the LGBTQ community's First Amendment rights so they can push their religious bigotry down the throats of the country is a truly disgusting and cowardice piece of shit that is on the wrong side of history and human rights. Every one of you will be defined by the positions of hatred that you take, and you will be placed next to the racist of the KKK and the Nazis.
They called me a bigot, a pariah, because I believe that marriage is the joining of two distinct genders into one flesh. Over our nation's history, a lot of brave men and women, they've died to give me the right to speak my piece as I do so tonight, to freely practice my religion.
Yes, for you to practice your religion, not for you to force me to practice your religion, you entitled ass piece of shit.
And I don't intend to let them down by surrendering those rights, no matter what the cost. I will never, ever again hesitate to stand for the truth. And I hope you don't either.
That's why I make videos. Christian nationalists and the other trashy bigots will never silence me. I will expose your bullshit for the cowardly lies that it is. You people are fucking pathetic.
Thank you.
Daddy, look. Can I sign?
You are not old enough.
Are you going to sign?
Grooming a new generation of bigots and filling the pews with martyrs. These evangelicals are ironically the closest thing to evil that exists. If you made it to the end, thank you very much. I know it was pretty long, but I had a lot to say. This movie was peak victimhood and bigotry, a truly disgusting and dishonest piece of propaganda. If anyone has a movie they would like me to review, include it in the comments, and until next time.